Good morning, cadets. Yesterday we have learned the displacement relation for a transverse wave traveling along a particular direction, say about positive x direction from left to right. Right? In the same way, we can also write for a longitudinal wave. So, first I am writing the equation of a transverse wave traveling, a progressive transverse wave traveling along positive x axis. Yxt equal to a sin kx minus omega t plus phi. This is transverse progressive wave. The meaning of progressive wave is that it is traveling about the positive x-axis from left to right towards positive x-axis. I told you yesterday how is it so. In the same way, we can now write for a longitudinal wave. In the case of longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium, they oscillate, they vibrate about the direction of propagation of the wave. In the case of transverse wave, the particles of the medium oscillate perpendicular to the direction of progressive wave. Whereas in case of longitudinal wave like sound wave, the particles of the medium oscillate to and fro parallel to the direction of propagation of wave. Therefore, here we will not take y. Displacement will be not about y. Displacement will be about the same direction of propagation, say about x-axis. But to represent the displacement, we take another notation, say s. Xt. Yes, we can remember as a sound because sound wave is a longitudinal wave. So Sxt displacement is equal to amplitude A into sin kx minus omega t plus phi. Same equation, only the displacement is about the same direction as that of direction of propagation of wave. So this is longitudinal wave. Longitudinal progressive wave. The meaning of this transverse wave or a longitudinal wave we will understand when we solve a simple numerical problem. First we will solve a simple numerical problem and then we will go about finding the speed of a progressive wave. Okay? Look at the problem. A wave traveling along a string, a stretched string is there. A wave is traveling along a stretched string. It is described by yxt equal to 0.050 sin 80x minus 3t, sin 80x minus 3t, in which the numerical constants are in SI units. Like 0.005 amplitude is 0.005 meter, right? And kx, it is 80 radian per meter. 80 is 80 radian per meter. And 3 omega t, 3 is 3 radian per second. These are all in SI units. You are asked to calculate the amplitude, the wavelength, the period and frequency of the wave, and also calculate the displacement y of the wave at a distance 30 centimeter at time 20 seconds. These are all the questions to be solved. Now let us see one by one. Comparing this given equation with the standard equation which we have written. Standard equation for displacement. Displacement of a transverse wave. Wave on a stretched string is transverse wave. Yxt equal to a sin kx minus omega t. So plus phi you are supposed to write. So you can take phi equal to 0. The initial phase is 0. So this is the standard equation of traveling wave. Now write the given equation. y xt is equal to 0.005 sin 80x minus sin 80x minus 3t. So from this we can have a comparison. Amplitude is equal to 0.005 meter. Wave number, angular wave number is equal to 80 radian per meter. Angular frequency is equal to 3 radian per second. That is readily available from comparison with the standard equation. So on comparing, this is given transverse wave equation. So on comparison, so I can write this is A. That is first question. That is amplitude. The amplitude A is equal to 0.005 meter. That is equal to 5 millimeter. That is half centimeter. 5 millimeter. That is half centimeter. Second one is the wavelength. Wavelength can be obtained from this angular wave number. So I am writing now B. From the given equation, angular wave number K is equal to Kx. You see, K is equal to 80 radian per meter, which we also know from the previous discussion that angular wave number is 2 pi by lambda. Therefore, from this we can readily calculate what is wavelength. Therefore, wavelength lambda is equal to 2 pi by k. 2 pi by k. 2 pi by 80. That becomes 2 ones are 2 40s are 3.142 divided by 40. So if you calculate this, it comes out to be 7.85 centimeter. 0.785 meter. 0.785 meter. So that is nothing but 7.85 centimeter. 7.85 centimeter. So 4 ones are 4 tens are. So you can cancel here. 4 tens are 4. 7s are 28. 3 remains. 4 8s are 32. 22 remains. 4 5s are 20. So you get 0.785 meter, which is equal to 7.85 centimeter. That becomes the wavelength. So second question is over. A and B are over. Now period and frequency of the wave. Period can be obtained from angular frequency. See, angular frequency from the given equation. Omega. Have a comparison. Omega is equal to 3. That's it. 3 radian per second. That is given. 3 radian per second. SI. And we know omega is also equal to 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t. Therefore, time period t is equal to 2 pi by omega. 2 pi by 3. So 2 into 3.142 divided by 3. So if you calculate this, you will get the time period 2.09 seconds. 2.09 seconds. Now, period is over. Now you are asked to calculate frequency of the wave. Frequency is equal to reciprocal of the time period. Therefore, frequency mu is equal to 1 by t. 1 by t you can see here 3 by 2 pi. If you calculate that is going to be 0.48 hertz. 0.48 hertz. That is 0.48 per second. That is the frequency. Number of waves traveling per second through a particular point is 0.8 per second, right? That is the frequency. So period is also over. Now the frequency is also over. Now we will calculate the displacement at location at position 30 centimeter and time 20 seconds. So in the place of x we have to substitute 30 seconds. In the place of t we have to substitute in the place of x we have to substitute 30 centimeter. Time we have to substitute 20 seconds. X and t, we will get the result. Okay, calculation is required. Now the displacement at x equal to 30 centimeter, time t equal to 20 seconds. We will write now 0.005 sine 80 into x is 30 centimeter. So convert this 30 centimeter into meter. So 30 centimeter is nothing but 0.3 meter. 0.3 meter. So 20 seconds. So you can write it as 0.3 minus omega t. Omega is 3 into 20 seconds. So thus we get 0.005 into sine. So 0 cancels here due to decimal. So it becomes 24 minus 3 to the 6. 60. So 60 minus 24 becomes 36. Minus 36. 0.005 sine minus 36. So this is in radian. So how to find the value of sine minus 36? So this is a periodic function as you know. So if we add sine minus 36 plus 2 pi, 2 pi is 2 into 3.14. It will be just 6 point something. Otherwise, if you add 4 pi, 4 into 3.1, it will be 12 point something. If it is 6 pi, 6 into 3.14, so it will be something 18, nearly 19. So like that if you go on calculating, so it will be minus 36 plus, just I will write here, minus 36 plus 2n pi. So if you take this 2n pi as 12 pi for example, 12 into 3.14, so minus 36 plus 12 into 3.14. If you calculate this, 12 3s are 36, so it will be 36 point something. So I will write this as 0.005 sine, since it is a periodic function, minus 36 plus 12, 2 6 are 6, 2 6 are 12 pi. So 12 pi. 6 times 2 pi. 6 times 2 pi means you are again coming back to 0. 6 times 2 pi, right? 2 pi means again you are coming to 0 angle. 4 pi means again you are coming to 0 angle. 6 pi means again you are coming to 0 angle. Like that 2 n pi means again you are coming to 0 angle. So 12 pi means you are again coming to 0. So 12 pi. So what is value of 12 pi? 12 into 3.14. If you calculate this, 12 4s are 48, carry 4. 12 1s are 12 plus 4, 16, carry 1. 12 3s are 36 plus 1, 37.68. So we will take it as 37.68 minus 36 plus 37.68. So if you subtract now 0.005 sin, this comes out to be 1.68. So that is the displacement y, 1.68. So from the table, or you can use calculator directly. Sin inverse of 1 is 90 degree. Sin inverse of 1 is 90 degree. It means the angle should be more than 90 degree. It will be an obtuse angle, right? It is no more a right angle, not even acute angle. It is no more acute angle, not even right angle. It will be the obtuse angle. So if you actually calculate this using the calculator or table, it comes out to be sin 97, 0.005 sin 97 degree. Sin 97, if you check it out, it is almost, this is in radian converted into degree. So sin 97, if you 1.68 is in the radians, it is converted into degree. So if it is calculated now, radian into degree, sin 97 if you calculate, it comes out to be almost 1 point something. Almost it is close to 1. So we can take it as almost 0.005 meter, that is 0.05 centimeter, that is equal to 5 millimeter. 5 millimeter. .5 centimeter. 0.5 centimeter is equal to 5 millimeter, half centimeter. Centimeter. I think it is 0.5 centimeter. That is equal to 5 millimeter. So in this way, such numerical problems will be asked in your annual examinations. Standard equation will be given. You will be asked to find out what is its wavelength, what is its frequency, what is its amplitude, and what is its time period, and what will be the displacement at a given location, at a given position and a given time. Okay, I think it is clear to you. Okay, now let us discuss about speed of a traveling wave. Speed of a progressive wave. Progressive means traveling wave. Okay. Now let us look at a wave traveling about a positive x-axis. This is the displacement function y, and this is the direction about positive x-axis. The wave is traveling about positive x-axis. When you look at this, then we have to focus on one particular state of vibration of a particle. Let us look at the crust. It is convenient. So next moment, let us say after a small interval of time delta t, this crust moves through a small distance delta x. So if you draw after time delta t, the same wave appears to have traveled this much of distance. So this is how time to time the wave is progressing. So now if you are looking at one particular point, let us say you are focusing on this crust, this dot. After time delta t, the same dot appears to be here. After some more time delta t, the same dot will be appearing somewhere here, because after one more time interval, the wave will be appearing like this. In this way, the crust is appearing to be moving with, let us say, constant speed. The crust is nothing but maximum displacement from the position. Maximum displacement from the undisturbed position is giving you amplitude, and the maximum displacement also gives you crest. Point of maximum displacement gives you crest. Now if you are looking at this, suppose it has covered a distance of delta x. It has covered a distance of delta x. If you are looking at this, this is also covering same delta x in time delta t. So we are focusing at a phase. Focus at shown by dot, while the wave is traveling, say, with a constant speed, v along positive x-axis, right? So we are looking at this particular dot, and this dot will be moving through a small distance delta x in a time delta t. Let delta x be the shift in position of the crest dot in a small interval of time delta t. Now, since we are focusing on this dot, whether this dot or this dot is covering a distance of delta x in time delta t. After one more delta t, this dot will be appearing here. So, the dot appears to be moving with some constant speed. So, that is how we define what is the speed of a traveling wave. The speed of a traveling wave is the speed with which the phase of a particle moves. The speed with which the phase of a particle, this is representing one particular phase. Phase of maximum displacement, phase of particle at crest. Right? So, phase of crest. So, we define speed of a traveling wave is the speed with which phase of vibration phase of wave, we can say. Phase of wave. So in this example I have taken crest. That is dot. Dot I have taken as a phase. Phase of wave moves. The speed with which the phase of the wave moves. The speed of a traveling wave is the speed with which the phase of constant, the phase of wave like crest moves. Now remember, when the phase moves, the phase appearing to be same crest, it appears as if the crest is moving from one point to another point, followed by next crest, followed by next crest, followed by next crest. That's how pattern appears to be moving. So that is what we call it as a progressive wave, and with the help of this consideration, we can find out the speed of a traveling wave. As I said, the speed with which the phase of the wave moves, the phase of the wave is taken constant. Phase of a traveling wave is kx minus omega t. It is always constant. The argument that is there in the trigonometric function, that is taken as phase. You know what is equation for a traveling wave? We know equation for traveling wave. Y is equal to a sine kx minus omega t. So at origin, you see, at origin at x equal to 0 and t equal to 0, the phase is 0. So I have taken the initial phase phi equal to 0. So it started from origin. So there is no problem of taking phi. Here phi is initial phase is 0. So phase kx minus omega t. This kx minus omega t is remaining constant as long as the wave is traveling with certain speed. Okay. The speed with which the phase moves gives us speed of the wave. Now, when the phase is remaining constant, now using this equation kx minus omega t, k is the angular wave number and omega is the angular frequency. Using this, I can find out what is delta x by delta t. Delta x by delta t gives us the speed, change in position per unit time. Delta x is the time taken. Delta x is the distance by which the phase has moved in time delta t. Delta x be the distance in position or change in position in time delta t. So delta x by delta t, if we find out, we get the speed. Here kx minus omega t equal to constant is equal to constant. Now differentiating with respect to time t. With respect to time t, k is constant and omega is constant, so it becomes k dx by dt minus omega dt by dt. Omega dt by dt gives you 1. Omega into 1 becomes equal to differentiation of any constant is 0. So you get 0. That's all. Therefore, this implies k dx by dt is equal to omega. When you take this minus omega to the right hand side, k dx by dt becomes omega. Therefore, dx by dt, that's what we want, the speed. Dx by dt is equal to omega by k. So here we have taken delta x. So same thing we can write here, that is delta x by delta t is equal to omega by k. So ratio of angular frequency to the angular wave number gives us what is known as speed of a progressive wave. So instead of dx by dt, one can take k delta x by delta t. K delta x by delta t also gives you delta x by delta t equal to omega by k delta x by delta t. This itself gives us speed. Therefore, speed v equal to delta x by delta t equal to omega by k. Now we know what is omega. Omega is 2 pi nu, angular frequency. 2 pi nu. And what is k? pi by lambda. 2 pi by lambda. So 2 pi cancels. Lambda comes to the numerator. Lambda into mu. So this gives us the relation for speed of wave. So first important relation is this one. This we can call it as number 1. So second one is V is equal to nu lambda. This is in terms of frequency and wavelength. So V is equal to nu lambda is frequency multiplied by wavelength. Frequency multiplied by wavelength gives us what is known as speed of a wave. Okay. So remember, the speed of a wave is defined as the speed with which the phase of a wave moves. And when the phase is in motion, then the phase always is taken to be constant. Kx minus omega t is equal to constant. Then differentiating with respect to time t, kx minus omega t is constant. If you differentiate with respect to time t, we get k dx by dt minus omega equal to 0. That implies k dx by dt equal to omega. So dx by dt is equal to omega by k. That itself can be taken as delta x by delta t, because we have assumed that the phase has moved through a distance of delta x in time delta t. In time delta t. Right? So delta x by delta t gives us speed. Speed is equal to angular frequency by angular wave number. So we know from the previous discussion, angular frequency is equal to 2 pi mu and angular wave number is equal to 2 pi by lambda. 2 pi if you cancel, we get a very important relation for speed of a wave, which is equal to product of frequency and wavelength. Thus, speed of a wave is equal to product of frequency and wavelength. This gives us speed of the wave. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.